If you want to hear testimony about the different glasses that a bar uses for the different drinks, then you might have found some excitement today in court for Karen Reed's trial. But if you don't, today was a little bit of a bore to both sides. Welcome to a trial episode of Just Legal History. Today, I don't have any video because there wasn't too much that needed to be quoted. Court today started with finishing up the testimony from Lieutenant Charles Ray. He was the one who went to John's house in the morning of January 29th to do a wellness check. We saw him on the ring camera at the house and then at the door and then leave. The one question that he couldn't answer was about the taillight and if he noticed anything wrong with the taillight. He finished his testimony up. Next, we changed our focus to friends of John and Karen and some of the events of the evening prior to Karen dropping John off near the Alberts house. The first couple up was Michael Camerano and Catherine Camerano. The couple had kids that would hang out with the niece and nephew of John, who John had custody of. Mr. Camerano said his daughter hung out with Kaylee, who was John's niece. The afternoon and evening started with a majority of the people going to the basketball game at the school, and the first stop after that was the McCarthy's bar. Michael was there with John and they talked about ordering beers. Michael left a little after 10 and went home. In the morning he got calls and texts about John not coming home and then went over to John's house where he wanted to get his daughter and also take Kaylee with him. He talked about issues getting the garage door open and having to do it manually. He took the girls back home, and there was some talk about the vehicles in the driveway of the home since Michael said he saw Karen's Lexus parked next to John's car. Catherine was up next, but she was a nurse and working that night and into the morning, so didn't go to the bar. She talked about the rapid flurry of texts in the morning. If somebody didn't die that morning, this would have been just a normal night at the bar where a group of people bar hop and then they all meet at the Waterfall bar until it closes. Kirk Roberts met John and Michael at the first bar and then went over to the second one. Next up was the waitress at Waterfall, Rebecca Triers. I think the big thing we learned from her was that the bar used different glasses for different drinks, that John gave a $10 tip on like a $16 bill. Next up was the Kilokatha's couple. He was a lawyer and she was a pharmacist. They joined the group at the Waterfall. Two things that were important to them from the defense point of view was that the defense attorney pointed out that Brian Higgins and Brian Albert were doing what looked like pretend fighting in the bar. And second, everybody said that night Karen had good things to say about John and how he was doing a good job with the kids. Nobody said that Karen and John were fighting at the bar. One important thing from the bar and dealt with the glass, and that it was a glass from the bar that was found next to John's body. There will definitely be more on that. As I said, this could have just been any normal night. Different people coming together to drink beers and bar hop. Guys pretend to fight in the bar and then things return to normal. We will see where the prosecution goes tomorrow. Today's day didn't really help either side except maybe put the jurors to sleep. Stay safe out there, and thank you for listening to an episode of Just Legal History.